Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Justice. Good to have you here. Let me say, first of all, I want to thank you. We had a major drug raid, and you all were very much involved in that and made it happen. And I personally want to thank you for the state of West Virginia. It was a major drug ring between Detroit and Huntington, West Virginia. You all led it. You were involved in it. We had all agencies working together. It made a big, big impression and made a big help on us. So thank you for that, sir.
Thank you.
Also, I want to say that the Bureau of Prisons routinely uses a process known as augmentation to assign custodial duties to non-correctional staff, teachers, plumbers, fill gaps in staffing and all that. At the Hazleton Federal Correction Center in West Virginia, there have been over 60 major security incidents since the beginning of this year, including one inmate's death earlier this month. I fought to ensure that the recently passed omnibus bill included language directing the Bureau to curtail its over-reliance on augmentation, people that didn't have these types of experiences, and instead hire additional full-time correctional staff before continuing to augment existing staff. So despite all this, the Director of Bureau of Prisons, Mr. Mark Inch, sent a memo out last week stating that augmentation is an important mechanism used by our agency to operate safely and efficiently. So only thing I can ask, Mr. Justice, is what do we have to do to get Mr. Inch's attention and ask for some help?
Well, the augmentation has gone on for a long time, Senator Manchin, and it's an established policy, and everybody that participates in augmentation is supposed to, and I believe is, also trained as in the incarceration management. Number one.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough
prison. This is a tough prison here.
Well, facts could be different in different situations, but the augmentation program to eliminate that would be highly expensive. I mean, you would have to hire an entirely new guard for one person to spend 2 hours through the lunchroom helping keep an eye on things.
We're just understaffed. I think that's it in a nutshell. And in that prison, with the amount of population base we have, if you could just look into that, sir, and if your staff could give us the attention we need there, we'd be greatly appreciative, because they're having serious problems there. And the staff morale is low. We're having a hard time keeping people now because of the danger. That's all we're asking for.
All right.
And I know you will do that, and I appreciate it. I have another one, too, which is I'm proud to have FBI presence in Clarksburg, West Virginia. As you know, the NICS unit is there. This facility performs a wide variety of functions, such as housing the Criminal Justice Information System, where the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check System is located, working in conjunction with WVU, implementing the cutting-edge study of biometrics in the field of criminal justice, being a resource for law enforcement, cybersecurity, and combating cybercrime. In order to protect the important work conducted at these facilities, there are approximately 75 police officers assigned to the site in Clarksburg. Additionally, there are about 173 other officers serving at sites in Washington, D.C., Quantico, Virginia, and New York City. Because of an inadvertent error committed while drafting the legislation intended to establish the FBI police force, these officers, these 70, they're not receiving the same pay and benefits that they are entitled to with what jobs they're doing. I think it's a snafu when all this is written. I mentioned this to Director Ray yesterday, so he knows it and his staff has it, but I wanted to also put it on your radar screen, sir. So I would just like to have your help, if you will, on this, because it's just an unfairness in the system we've been trying to correct. And this was done in 2002. We have the code, the section, and everything else that whoever you want us to work with on your staff to check that out, I'd be happy to do.
Well, that's a reasonable request, and we'll follow up with Director Wright, and if we could be of assistance, we will.
The opiate addiction that we have, and we've talked about this before, trying to change the law back to where the DEA can do its job. You and I have talked about
right.
I think we've given, and you were telling me you need the language from us to do that, or do you have the ability to change that?
I appreciate the conversations we've had on it. I thought we had reached an accord on the language, but if not, I'll be glad to follow up and see if we can't get that done.
Yeah. Okay,
I
yeah.
appreciate your interest and leadership on it.
Well, we're ground zero. West Virginia is number one. We had 909 deaths of a population of 1,800,000 people, so we're just off the charts. And but your attention is going to be greatly appreciated, but it's helping immensely. This drug raid made a big difference, and that we can do more.
Your U.S. Attorney, Mike Stewart, is
Mike's
so excited. I got a letter from him, and it reminded me when I was young U.S. Attorney.
You got a good.
He was on steroids. I told him compared to me, he was so excited.
We got a good
he
guy
is
there.
really fired up to make some changes there, and we're going to support him.
Yeah, he's well liked. He's well liked, and he'll do a good job. We're really proud to have Mike. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Senator from South